Mark, what did you like best about the first half in particular, and the run heading into halftime? It just seemed like the rhythm and tempo you were playing with was hard to stop.
Yeah, great tone early in the game to build an early lead, and then we were a little muddy in the second quarter, start the second, and then we closed the quarter really well. Both ends of the floor, great precision on offense, and then really made them earn everything on defense, and it built us a nice lead.
It seemed like you kind of had blinders on to potential distractions and things throughout the course of the game. What's continuing to drive that for the entire team? Because it seemed like everybody's locked in.
Yeah, I thought we had good mental toughness tonight. It's hard to play with leads. It's hard not to get distracted by the score. And I thought the group to start the third quarter came out, and through the first punch, they did a great job. And that energy continued through the third. And then the group in the fourth quarter did a great job of just kind of playing the next possession. That's how you build habits. You can take steps backwards in a game like that. Even though you may end up winning the game because you had a lead, you don't want to have slippage with your habits. And I thought we didn't do that tonight.
How much did Kaysen have to do with this? I mean, I was joking with somebody. He and Dyson Daniel seem to go back and forth leading the league in steals, and he gets one like in the first 10 seconds, and then he hits a three, then it's a deflection off Mark Williams and leads to another bucket, and it seemed like he had kind of got your defense going that was really good, especially in that first quarter.
Yeah, he's often guarding the guy that's bringing the ball up, and so he's the first guy that has an opportunity to set a tone on the possession on many occasions, and he does a great job of that, obviously. And I thought collectively we did a good job on Gillespie tonight. Gillespie's played unbelievable. In the last stretch of games for them, he's had a great season, and has forced teams to put him towards the top of the scouting report, especially with Booker out. And I thought Kaysen did a great job early in the game on him, and I thought collectively we did a good job on him tonight.
Also got a little chippy there at the end. You guys are cruising, beating people. Maybe word's not the right word, but maybe teams going to kind of get a little physical with you to kind of take you out of your rhythm or something like that.
We can't control that, but I thought the refs handled the situation tonight well, and those things can get a little squirrely from time to time if the refs don't handle it with a firm hand, and I thought they handled it appropriately tonight.
Chet had a quick pull up over Gillespie early in the game, had a nice floater over Royce O'Neal as well. Just seems like he was really capitalizing whenever he got the smaller guy on. Just what did you see out of him tonight in terms of his decision making?
Yeah, I thought he was really good tonight. He had a good inside out blend. Hit the threes early. They put guards on him. They had O'Neal on him much of the game after he hit the early shots, and then he got some rolling. He got some stuff around the basket, a couple post-ups, offensive rebounds. So I thought he showed the whole spectrum of things that he's capable of offensively tonight, and he was great defensively as well. So I thought he played a really complete game in his minutes.
Yeah, Coach. 16-game win streaks don't happen by accident. What's, I guess, one important thread that you've noticed through this entire win streak?
Not focusing on the win streak. You just got to play the next possession, get better the next day, win the next quarter, and compete in the next game. And then if you do that and you're present in that process, sometimes you look up and you win a certain amount of games in a row. But we certainly need to understand we still have a lot of improvement to make. We have a lot of things to sustain, and a lot of competitive challenges ahead. There's a lot of season ahead of us, but the guys have done a great job of just staying very present in the season so far and competing in the moment, and it's put us in a nice position.
And then how would you describe the identity of this team right now? Has it changed any from last year?
No, it's same deal. I think we've tried to touch up some edges and sharpen some things and help individual guys improve, but we want to be a team that competes together, and that's been the case from when we were first starting out till now. And when we do that, we give ourselves a great chance to win the game, and the guys, like I said, have been really committed to that and have done a great job.
You guys are off to the best start in NBA history, have the best point differential by a lot. What improvement?
Well, a lot of it is just, first of all, it's never a perfect game. Individual players improving. Nobody's a finished product. A lot of guys are early in they're like early prime players or pre-prime players. And so a lot of it's that. And then you're only as good as you are in the next challenge. All that's great, but none of it matters Saturday. We can't take any of it and carry it into that game. It's 0-0 when we start that game. And we have to do those things. Again, none of it, like I said, you have habits that you build, but none of it carries over. And so that's a competitive challenge. It takes mental toughness and discipline and commitment to do that. These guys have exhibited that over a long period of time, but we have a lot of season left. And so that's our challenge moving forward.
And you called the score a potential distraction. Remember when I was talking to you preseason, you talked about that if, the fact you won a championship last year could be a distraction. Is complacency creeping in at all a concern as you guys continue to just dominate components consistently?
No, it's less of a, we're trying not to anticipate what the concerns are. There's no like boogeyman in the closet. We try to deal with what's right in front of us. But we have to understand that anything in the past, takes you out of the present moment. Anything in the future takes you out of the present moment. The game and the competition happens in the present moment. So the championship was great, but if we're thinking about it, it's a distraction. And what we have ahead of us is exciting, but if we're thinking about that, it's a distraction. All we have now is practice Friday and then preparation to play whoever we play on Saturday.
I think Shea had 8 assists. What do you think about the way he's spreading the ball around early and just his overall game?
Yeah, I thought we actually had some slippage in our flow coming up the floor over the last few games. We were better in Utah, but prior to that, we were just like sloppy in our spacing. And when we've got attacking players and we're not in our spots, aggressive defense like them can make us pay. And I thought tonight we were pretty sharp there. And I thought he was aggressive. The other handlers were aggressive. We were in our spots. They made the right plays early, and then we finished those plays. And so it's all interconnected, but he had a great game flow as he has had all year. I thought as a team, we had great flow and ball movement tonight, but a lot of that, the invisible part of that is just the discipline of the spacing and some detail stuff that we've been trying to clean up the last couple games.
You're in a unique situation in the regular season. Your next opponent is about to tip off, the winner of this next game. How much are you paying attention to that tonight? Are you just going to look at some film tomorrow? Just how much are you going to pay attention tonight?
I'm not going to pay attention tonight, but we'll prep it and get the team ready. We're off tomorrow, and then we'll be ready Friday. And we'll prepare as if it's any other game. But yeah, it's unique, but it's a good opportunity. It's a challenge, because of the uniqueness of it. We did it last year. I think, like I said, we were better for it, having gone through it, just being in kind of a weird environment that throws you off kilter in the middle of the regular season. That's not the worst thing to go through, and we'll embrace the challenge of it.
Is there any sort of celebration tonight to make it to Vegas? I mean, you guys have a mini celebration, something like that?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, Casey Wallace left the game.
Yep.
You have anything on his status?
No, he was ruled out for the rest of the game, but we'll check him out tomorrow. I don't even know what's going on, but we'll check him out tomorrow.
Anybody else?